All right, what's up guys? So we're about to have some people over tonight. It's the first round of Supercross, so we're gonna have a nice little party. We got some Infidel Pork Rub. I got 6 racks of spare ribs we're gonna prep. As we're prepping these, I'm gonna show you guys some tips and tricks that I've learned over all these years. First things first, some of these we grabbed because they had really good deals on some of these spare ribs, but wherever you're looking for spare ribs, we want to look on the bone side along with the meat side for it to be the same thickness all the way through. If we can, possibly. If you're getting them already St. Louis style, meaning that they're gonna have the larger bone and the extra meat cut off the top and already trimmed down, we wanna make sure that the trimming's decent and that the butcher didn't go overly crazy, which thankfully all of the ones that we have are like that. Another thing too, I'm gonna make sure that they didn't trim them too long or too short. We do have a shorty here, but it's not gonna be the end of the world with how we're smoking these. So to get these going, I'm gonna go ahead and cut open this pack right here and get our ribs out. Now, you'll hear a lot of people talk about binders, all this and that kind of stuff. To me, I don't normally use a binder unless if I'm in a hurry. So that'll kind of dictate on how I use that. First things first, you can see on the actual trimming, you can see the extra bone right here. They cut it pretty short. So we can cut that off if we wanted. Again, today we're actually gonna be cooking these in the Badger barrel, so not really worried about that. This meat flap right here, all of it's pushed down pretty well. I am going to leave this part in the sink. I'm gonna trim just a little bit of this off because we do have some short ones, but I'm not gonna trim too terribly much of this end off like some people might, or if you're doing a competition style. I'm gonna trim this off because inside that Badger barrel, we only have a certain amount of length until we hit the actual fire on the bottom of the barrel. Also, pro tip, have all your utensils before you start filming. And if you guys make your own sausage, do all that kind of fun stuff, you can keep these trimmings, or if you wanna feed your dogs, you can do that as well. Next thing we're gonna do, since these are pretty much good to go, this meat flap you can trim off. This one isn't that bad. Just like how some meat curtains are a little much, this one is pretty good. One thing you're gonna notice is I have a clean hand, I have a dirty hand. I try and keep this all the way through so we can season, touch knives, all that kind of stuff without having to stop, change gloves, clean hands, wash your hands, all that kind of stuff. Next thing we're gonna be doing is pulling off this membrane. This membrane is fascia. Silver skin is what a lot of people call it. And if you've ever been to a barbecue restaurant, you take that bite of a really good rib and then you just yank and it's not going anywhere, it's because they normally don't take this off. We're gonna be feeding people some good quality meat. We're gonna take this off. What you can do is either a spoon or a butter knife. I normally go 1, 2, 3, or the second rib in. You wanna get it underneath like this right here, to where you're not ripping it. And you can see there's already a tear inside there. I like to go about 3/4 of the way up the bone. Try and put my thumb underneath the knife on that bone so you can get some good lift. And you can work your way up a good ways. Once you have that in, you wanna dry. So grab your paper towel, and just like how we increase pleasure, we're gonna do the same exact thing. As you guys can see, if we were to grab this with our glove, it just slips right off. With the paper towel, it sticks right on. And you can just yank that guy all the way down. Now, I know some of y'all have probably tried this at home. It didn't go as well. You're probably thinking witchcraft. Once you do a few hundred of these, it all makes sense. We got a little bit of juices left over, so we can just go ahead. I normally rub it down and then do a light coating. Today we're doing Infidel Pork Rub, which is my always go-to for anything to do pork, especially ribs. Bone side, you don't need to go too terribly heavy. Remember, anytime that we're doing this, you want to keep that shaker nice and high so the seasonings mix properly coming out of it. That's good like that. And then I also like to go ahead and just do the sides. Okay. And since these are pretty tacky coming out of the package, again, you don't need a binder, just do it. And if they're not that tacky, you can just season it, let it sit for 2-3 minutes, and all of your spices are gonna make this actually sweat, and you'll get Mother's Nature's binder. So we want good color all the way through. And remember, this has a ton of brown sugar in it. So you can go a little heavier on this, and then you're gonna get that caramelization. It's gonna render down super, super well and give you an awesome color for the competition guys, but for backyard, everyone else, it's just gonna taste absolutely amazing. So this is exactly how I prep a St. Louis style. It's already trimmed. All the hard work's already done on this one, so not too terribly hard. We're gonna go finish getting the rest of these trimmed up, membrane removed. We'll see you guys out there at the Badger Barrel. All right, and just like that, we have all of our ribs set up and good to go. So, pro tip, we're gonna be doing this on a Badger Barrel, similar to a pit barrel. I'm gonna go ahead and place my hooks before we go outside. We already have the charcoal lit going, so that way we're fully prepped, ready to go. Now, you have two different sides of this rib. So your larger bone side, typically I'll go down 3 bones. So we got 1, 2, 3. Stick it right in between the middle. What this is gonna do is typically I peel my membrane on that second bone. So we got really good connection inside of there to be able to hang that just like this, not worry about it accidentally dropping or anything like that halfway through the cook. Don't ask me how I know, but it gives you security. We're gonna go through and finish all these guys up. Just find that third bone, stick it right through, and we're set. All right, we got all of our hooks in. Let's grab this, take it out, and get them hung. All right, guys, so we'll take a rib right here, swing it on over here. As you guys can see with the smoke, we'll go right down in the center of the hole, hang it, and that's it. Coolest thing about most of your, at least your pit barrel and your Badger Barrel, those are my 2 favorites. There's no temperature settings, there's no crazy adjustments, there's no really checking the fire. It's you hang it, walk away. For me, normally spare ribs like this is gonna be right at about that 4 to 4.5 hour mark, and they're perfect. So simple, easy, as long as you know how to start charcoal, which if a caveman can do it, you should hopefully be able to do it. With that, we have all that done. We can then take our barrel, make sure our air vents are open. See you guys in about 4.5 hours. We are just over the 4 hour mark. These things, as you can see, it's still smoking. Nice and good, but we're gonna go ahead and hook this guy just like a fish, give her a nice pull. So you have awesome mahogany color. We got good pullback on the bones. That is just about perfect. So I'm gonna take all these out. We're gonna throw them inside of a foil pan. We're gonna put them in the house oven with it turned completely off, keep them nice and warm. We're gonna let them rest for about 30 to 45 minutes. Once they're good to go, we'll chop them up, chow down, we'll see you then.